Hi, I'm Rishikesh Piska, currently pursuing my electrical and electronics engineering degree at Chaitanya Bharat Institute of Technology. In this video, I'm going to explain the project I have given by the Zeta Technologies for the round 2 assessment. I was asked to build a React and Node.js application with PostgreSQL database, which has the functionality as stated below. Create 50 records in the database with the following column fields: serial number, customer name, age, phone, location. Also created a dummy data. Create a single page application to display the above data in table format with search option, pagination with 20 records per page. They created a column data as to be displayed with two separate columns as date and time. The search functionality will search the data by the column name or location. There should be an option to sort the data either by date or by time. First, we need to create a database and its schema for this project. Let's go to pgadmin for creating a database. I've already created a database called customer. Then I need to create a table in this database. So I use this query to create a table customers in this database. The following fields are there in the table: the serial number, customer name, age, phone, location, and created it. These are the data types for these fields. For the created it column, I have a data type timestamp without the time zone. After the creation of table, we need to insert dummy data into these variables. So I used Mokara website for the dummy data. I inserted that CSV file into this table using pgadmin GUI. So finally, database is created. Let me show you the data I have got. So this is the data I have got. Okay. Now let's move on to the project development part. First, I created a customer app, but we need both backend and frontend running on different port. So I created backend and frontend files in the customer app. Then in the backend, I need to use npm init command in the terminal for initializing the Node.js modules in its backend file. So I already done the project. So I'm going to explain what is the code will be there in the index.js. First, I downloaded some dependencies: Express, body parser, PG for database, and .n for security, and course for connecting the front end and back end. I had used Express middleware. The port will be 7000, and n.config for getting the database details from the .n file here. So for creating a connection between the database and the backend, I used pg.client. I have got my database details here: user, host, database, and password and port. So by using db.connect, the database will be connected to the backend, and also use body parser and course middlewares, and the backend will be running on port 7000 by using app.listen method. Now let's create the get router here. Now we do construct a get route for retrieving the customer details from the database and sending them to the front end side of the application. I'll use query parameters to include the sort and search feature in the app. Also for pagination purposes, I will use another query parameter, page number. These query parameters are initialized to the default values, so if there is no record of their value in the request, we can use them. And set limit to 20 to have only 20 records per page. An offset is used to know where to start in the entries from the database on a particular page. Now let's write the query. First, we need to retrieve all the fields from the customers table. So we use select star from customers. Also, we need an array for query parameters. We need some condition here to get the exact query. We use them. You use the customer name or location name for searching the entry. If the search is not equal to an empty string, it indicates that we got a search request from the front end. So we include a where clause for finding the right entry using I like case instead to matching keyword. Then push the search term into a query parameters array for matching parameters in the query using $symbol. Then if the sort by query parameter is equal to date, then include the order by clause based on date in the query, or if it's equal to time, we use order by time in the query. I used casting to extract the date and time from the created date field. The order will be descending, so the latest entry will be the first. Then include the offset and limit in the query so that we can get only 20 entries per page. In the try block, I use db.query method for retrieving data from the database. I send query and query parameters in the request. I also want total pages number. So I also send a query, select count start from the customers to get the total count. Then I will use the math.ceil method to get the total pages. I'll send the rows, the array we got, it contains JSON objects and total pages to the front end side. And in the catch block, I use a simple error statement. Now let's check whether the backend is working properly or not using Postman. At first we need to run the backend. Let's run the backend now. As the backend is running on the server port 7000, let's go to Postman. Yeah, just this and the initial get route. Yeah, it's working. We got all the details of the customers. Then let's send some query parameters. I got page sort by date. Yeah, it's sorting the users by the date of entry. Yes, and I also want to include the search param. Yes, it's getting the customer by the name Tessie Banger. I have given. Yes, now it's working. The total pages also we have got. Now let's start developing the front end. At first, I installed the React app called front end using the install npx react app command in the terminal. Then also install the necessary dependencies. Then I created 3 components: customer table, pagination, and search form. In this index.js file, I imported app.js app from the app.js, and I got also the element from the index.html using document.getElementId. The element name will be root. Okay, the app will be rendered in this index.js. Let's go to app.js, where the main front end code will be there. I have imported React user effect from React. I use Axios for getting the data from the backend. The imported 3 components: customer table, search form, and application and pagination. I got useState hooks in the app function. Customers is initialized to the empty array. Is loading is initialized to false. Current page initialized to 1. Search query initialized to empty string. Sort by initialized to created. Total page initialized to 1. So these are the hooks. Then I got a use effect method. In this use effect, I got a declare another function, fetch customer. So at first I said is loading to true. Then in the try block, I call axios.get method. This is the URL for the backend, where it's all the backend is running at this URL. And will also send the query parameters page, search, and sort by. After receiving the data, I set the customers to response the data rows, and total pages to response the data rows total pages. And the catch block, I include a simple error statement, and finally the set loading will be false. Then and at last I call the fetch customer function, and in this use effect I got 3 values: current page, search query, and sort by. If any of these value changes, the page will be re-rendered. And I got handle search query update method. In this, I'll set the search query to the new search query, and handle sort update to handle the sort by, handle page change to handle the current page number. And the return of this app function, I got heading first, customer directory, and 3 components: search form, customer table, and pagination. In the search form, I send handle search query update and handle sort update as a props. Then let's go to the search form component. In this search form component, I imported form, input group, and button from the React Bootstrap, and I also got the props on search query chain and so on sort chain. I also declared 2 use state hooks, search input and selected sort. They are initialized to empty string and created it respectively. Handle search input change is the function that will update the value of search input, and handle sort chain update the value of selected sort. Then in the return statement, I got two forms input groups, form control and form select. In the form control is for searching by name or location. The on change I have given handle search input for changing the value of this form input value. And the form select, I got 3 options: created it for date, time, on date only and time only. And at last I got a button for submission of both these inputs in both these forms. And the on submit will be handled by handle submit function. In the handle submit, I got 2 methods. These are the props I got from the app.js. On search query chain will update the search input, and on sort chain will update the selector sort. Now I will import this search form to the app.js. Let's go to app.js again. Then I got customer table component. Let's go to customer table.js. Yeah, I have imported table from React Bootstrap and format from date.fns. In this customer table function, I got props customers. The customer details will be there in the props. It's an array of JSON objects. Now I've got in the return statement, I've got table and the thread for the field names, the serial number, name, age, phone, location, date and time. And I got the rows. For the getting rows, I need to use map function for extracting every element from the customer array. Every element is a JSON object, and to extract the elements in that JSON object, I use customer.serial number, customer name, customer.age, customer.phone, customer.location. And also I got customer.created column where we got a timestamp where the date and time will be combined together. So I need to separate the date and time because I need 2 different columns, date and time, as per the given instructions. So I used format function to extract a date from the customer.created and form another, and again I use the format function to extract time from the created column. Okay, the body will be closed here, and I exported the customer table into the app.js. At last I got pagination component. I sent current page, total pages, and handle page change as a props to this pagination component. Let's go to pagination. I imported the button from React Bootstrap /button module. I got 2 functions: handle next page and handle previous page. In the handle next page, update the value current page using the prop function on the page function, and also handle previous does the same. In the return part of the function, I got 2 buttons. The first button will be the previous. It will handle on click event, handle previous page which will trigger this handle previous page function, which will update the current page value, and it will be disabled if the current page equals to 1. Another button on click event will be handle next page. If they click the button, it will trigger the handle next page value. It will update the current page value, and if the current page value is equal to total pages, it will be disabled, and the span will be page of current page of total pages. And at last I will import this pagination to app.js. So that's it, is the written part of this app.js. I will export this app.js into index.js, and I also update the styling for this website using the styling content. The CSS styling will be all present in the app.css file. I have applied styling for the body, app container, and the heading part, and all for all those three components also. And I have imported this app.css file into app.js at the start only. Okay, this is the explanation part. Then let's try and run this front end. So this is the website I got. This is the customer details, and heading, the search form, and the date time options, and the search button, and the details, and the larger pagination I got using, yeah, in the previous. Now it's not working because we are on the first page. The next page is working, like second page, third page. Yeah, we'll go to the previous page. Now let's sort it by the date or time. Date only search. Now it will be sorted by date. See, it's December, November, October. Yeah, it's sorted by date. It's time to sort by time only. Search. It's sorted by time. Yeah. Now let's search any of the input. I got Ferguson plan. Okay, let's search him. Yeah, I got those customer details. So this is the app that I developed. Thank you.